Hello, you all. I hope you can see me and hear me okay. I just want to have a really quick talk with you about something that the Lord had placed in my heart to share with you. And I hope that you can see me okay, because my lighting isn't that great. But you know, when you're about to step into something great in life, you can almost sense it in the air. You just know it. And you know it because what's happening around you. You start, like, if you just tune into what's going on around you, you'll see that something is about to happen in your life, because people will start manifesting, like people's demons will start manifesting around you randomly. I'm talking about, it could just be a regular day, and you'll go out in your car and people are randomly blowing their horn at you. This hasn't happened to me at all today, by the way. It's just something the Lord had placed in my heart to share with you all, because I want you to start paying attention to what's happening around you. I want you all to be very aware. Don't just be passive in life. Don't just go with the flow in life of what's happening, but be very aware of what's happening around you. Be tuned in to the messages that God is sending you, or that God is allowing you to see. This is what it means to have eyes to see and ears to hear. This is what it means to have discernment. It means that you're tuned into what's happening in the spirit, and you're not just being led by your flesh, right? You're not just looking through the eyes of your flesh. You're looking through the eyes of, your spirit. You're looking through the eyes of discernment, the discernment and the wisdom that the Lord has given you. But if you just pay attention to what's happening around you, and I'm sorry, my hair looks a little crazy. When the Lord is about to take you somewhere that you've never been before, where He has said, this is where you should go. It's not a track that the enemy has put you on, because the thing is, when the enemy is guiding you to somewhere he wants you to go, it's usually very smooth sailing. Smooth sailing, right? You may even feel a little anxiety, but things are just kind of moving very smooth for you in the world. But when the Lord is trying to move you into a place, you'll just start seeing really random manifestations of demonic activity begin to happen around you. And the goal is to get you off track. The goal is to pull you out of character. The goal is to bring you back, have you revert back to your old self. The goal is to get you to react the way that you used to react. But you've came a very long way. And what I really want to share with you today is to not allow those things, if this is happening to you, if people are trying to pull you into random arguments, people are trying to manipulate you, people are accusing you of things. I did a message on the spirit of accusation not too long ago. People are accusing you of things that you didn't do. It's not even in your character. Do not allow those things to trigger you, because what the enemy is trying to do, he's coming around to check and see if you're still in the same neighborhood of thinking. And God will allow it. God will allow it as a test. But the enemy is coming around to see if you're still the same person that you used to be, if he can still get a reaction out of you. Because if you fall for it, if you go back into it, you're going back, right? And you've came really far. Stay the course. This is what it means to go through the refiner's fire. It means the Lord is refining your character in Him. It means the Lord is shaping you to look more and more like His Son, and you have to stay the course, right? You have to not allow the enemy to pull you out of character. Those things that used to trigger you, you have to be self-aware enough to know that, hey, this is who you used to be. This is how you used to react. But God has refined your character. God has made you into a new creation in Christ Jesus, and you cannot allow the enemy to pull you back to those old ways, to how you used to be, right? And people who are not fully surrendered, people who need just plain flat out deliverance, they can be used by the enemy to trigger certain things in you that maybe the Lord has brought you from, maybe you've been delivered from. They can be used to try to trigger those things in you, and you have to be self-aware enough to know this is an attack from the enemy, and you're not going to fall from it, right? Fall for it. You're not going to take the bite like Eve did. So remember that, especially in this season, for those of you who the Lord He's taking you somewhere, and you know that He's taking you somewhere. You'll start to see these things happen randomly. You'll start to see These things happen randomly. So do not allow the enemy to pull you out of character. And I did have a word for someone specific that the Lord dropped on me to share. So this is for specific people. I need you to understand, the Lord needs you to understand that there are people out there who will never get you. There are people who would never understand you. You could explain to them, you could try to reveal to them who you are to your blue in the face, and they'll never understand you. They'll never understand the things that you do. They'll never understand the way that you move. They'll never understand you, and it's because God didn't allow them to. God has blinded them to you. God has blinded them to you for whatever reason that is, and you have to be okay with that. Just continue being a light in the world. Continue following the path that God has placed you on, because you will be rewarded for it. God is not, he's not someone who will take you somewhere and just drop you or leave you, right? He's taking you all the way. He's completely and 100% invested in you going all the way, right? Receiving all the promises he has for you, having the life that he has said you should have in his word. He's completely invested in this. Why? Why is he completely invested in this? Because he sent his son to die for you so that you can have it, so that you can have freedom, right? And freedom doesn't just mean that freedom doesn't just mean that you're saved from eternal damnation. It doesn't just mean that you're not going to go to hell after you physically die here on earth. Yes, that is a huge chunk of what freedom means. But what freedom also means is that you get to be free while you're here on earth, right? You get to be free in your body. You get to be free in your mind. You're not in constant torment in your mind, right? And people say that, I talk about financial freedom a lot. And people say that God doesn't want you to be financially free, but do you know the result of what it is to not be financially free? It means that you're tormented on a daily basis by the system of this world. Is that of God? I'm very passionate about that. I'm very passionate about that because I see it every day where people are tormented on a daily basis because they're in financial distress. That is demonic to its core. And the Lord desires to set you free in all areas of your life, not just one area. Not just one area. The Lord desires to give you freedom across the board. So I love you all. Let me know if this really resonated with your spirit. And I hope that you guys are able to see me okay. I know that the lighting is not that great. I hope you guys are able to hear me okay. For those of you the Lord has been placing on your heart for godly mentorship, there is a Promise and Mentorship available for you below. It's a year journey. Everything is on demand. There's weekly messages released that are very specific to where you're at in your journey. And there's daily devotionals and there's a community. So if you want to know more about that, there is a link below for you to check out. For those who the Lord has led to give into the ministry, you can do that below. If you want to just plant seeds in fertile ground because you're looking to God for a harvest, there is a link below for that as well. And I invite you to actually put in the description what you're sowing for, what you're believing in God for a harvest for. I have been receiving testimonies through email on almost on a daily basis now. I'm not able to respond back to every single one, but I see them. And the reason why the testimonies are coming is because one, the Lord is, when he speaks a word, it does not come back void. And this is a godly principle that you all are standing on when you're taking an act of faith to sow into fertile ground to receive a harvest. The Lord is a multiplier of seeds. The Lord gives seed to the sower. It's just a principle, a biblical principle. And two, because I pray for you all on a daily basis. I spend hours in prayer for you all on a daily basis that the Lord will multiply your seed, that the Lord will supply all of your wants, all of your needs, according to his riches and glory in Christ Jesus. I love standing on the basis of Philippians chapter 4:19 and Malachi chapter 3 verse 10 through 11. I invite you to study those scriptures. Also, for those of you who have not subscribed, I invite you to hit the subscribe button. I invite you to share this message. I invite you to hit the notification bell so that you're notified when these messages continue to upload. And I think that's it, y'all. I think that's it. Thank you so much for those of you who do share these messages, for those who are subscribed. and for those who have hit the notification bell. So I love you all, and I will talk with you in the next message.